Well, last week was an interesting week as we saw both gold and silver make some pretty nice gains in the early part of the week. Gold, as well as platinum, did waver and give some of those gains back very late before the weekend set in. Let's talk about it. All right, and welcome back, YouTube, to another precious metals market update with the Florida Stacker. This update on July 11th, 2020. An article published by Daily FX titled Gold Prices Fall with Stocks as U.S.-China Tensions Escalate stated that gold prices fell alongside stocks as escalating U.S.-China tensions sourced market sentiment. The risk-off backdrop drove haven demand for the U.S. dollar, which undermined the appeal of anti-fiat alternatives, epitomized by the yellow metal, driving it downward. Crude oil prices likewise fell as the defensive backdrop swept up the range of cycle-sensitive assets. That's strange but true, and I did mention this last week in my precious metals update that I have seen a lot of short-term price action alongside moves in the stock market. Of course, important to note is how quickly assets such as gold rebound as compared to the stock market and more industrial metals such as silver and platinum. The article continues with some technical analysis stating, gold prices pulled back to digest gains after breaking resistance marked by the 38.2% expansion at 1789.78, but the dominant uptrend remains intact for now. Well, that's pretty good news that the dominant uptrend remains intact for now. So let's look at another article that was published on July 10th by FX Street titled Gold Price News and Forecast XAU USD to hit 1900 by end of 2020. The article reads, Gold nurses losses around the $1,800 mark following Thursday's good two-way businesses. The risk-off theme amid coronavirus concerns continues to bode well for the US dollar. Therefore, let's take a look at how the yellow metal is positioned from a technical perspective. The technical confluences indicator shows that the buyers remain hopeful as long as the bright metal holds above the powerful support level that is currently aligned at 1,795. So it will be interesting to see how gold opens Sunday night and whether or not the dollar will show continued signs of weakness as it has over the last 3 months, or whether it will continue with its short-term strength or gains. That suggests that the world will look to build on the strength of the greenback status in the world of fiat currency amid concerns over the coronavirus as well as the United States and China trade negotiations. Now let's have a look at silver and an article published by ETF Daily News that states in the article's title that silver continues to get more attractive by the dips. Well, that makes common sense to me. It's been a strong start to Q3 for silver as the metal is up nearly 5% on the back of an incredible 30% return during second quarter, solidifying the metal as the third strongest asset for the second quarter, just behind the software index IGV and the esports ETF ESPO. Despite this outperformance, we still have to squint to find any bulls interested in the trade. Positioning among small speculators remains near 9-month lows for silver, barely recovering from the washout in March and sitting below 40,000 contracts. This continues to be a bullish divergence for the silver metal, as there is nothing more bullish than an asset that continues to rise in value with a minimal amount of speculators interested in getting involved. Based on this, the path of least resistance continues to be higher for silver. Okay, so what are your takes on that? Not a whole lot of action behind silver futures contracts, yet the metal has been steadily gaining in value since its March crash with the overall stock market. It is definitely a bullish indicator out there, my silver stackers, to see so many positive days with silver spot with lower volume. Another article about silver that was published, it's called Silver Forecast, Markets Likely to Struggle, and it was published by Daily Forex on July 10th, reads, the silver markets have struggled a bit during the trading session on Thursday, initially shooting towards the $19.50 level before pulling back. We did end up forming a shooting star, and that, of course, is a negative candlestick. However, I do not necessarily think that you can be a seller of silver in this market. This just simply shows that breaking above the $19 level is going to take some momentum. After all, there is a lot of noise between $19 and $20, So I think it is only a matter of time before we see the market challenge that area again. Do not get me wrong, I think that there are still plenty of reasons to buy this market, but it is obvious to me that we are going to need several attempts, I think, to break out above the $20 handle. Once we do, that could send this market much, much higher, as it would open the door for another move like what we saw during the great financial crisis. Wow, that is a lot of optimism. But I do think it's important to note that optimism is building amongst the financial analysts who cover precious metals. It's getting more difficult to find negative information out there with everything going on to support precious metals. Could we really see $2,000 gold and $20 silver this year? A lot, of course, does depend on the strength of the US dollar, which some short term forecasts are calling for the dollar to strengthen. Those are, of course, key points that we pointed out earlier in this video. The article goes on to say, if that is going to be the case, then I would look for a move down towards the 1875 level on a strengthening dollar, followed by the 1850 level. In that general vicinity, I would anticipate seeing a lot of choppiness, but ultimately we could see another buying opportunity. Even if we break down below the areas mentioned, I believe that the $18 level will cause significant support, just as $17.50 will be even stronger. The author of this article ends with, I have no scenario in which I am willing to sell precious metals right now, unless, of course, for some reason the central banks around the world stop liquefying the markets and with suddenly tight monetary policy put into place. I just do not see that happening anytime soon. Neither do I. All right, so plenty of things to consider when trying to decide whether or not now is a decent time for you to invest or stack precious metals as either a method of savings like I do on the physical side or as an investment for your portfolio. But before we end, let's take a quick look at platinum, its performance, and what the analysts are saying about the other white metal. An update published by CFD Trading on July 10th titled Platinum Down $10.24 in the last 4 hours fares worst out of metals, goes on to say that platinum's 3-day positive streak has officially concluded, but looking at the chart for platinum, I see a pretty healthy recovery over the last 3 months. This time in April, platinum was trading around $760 per troy ounce. In May, $800 per troy ounce, raising to $830 by mid-June before having that late June sell-off, and has now once more began to settle around a spot ask price of $830 now in mid-July. Platinum, of course, is the most speculative of the 3 metals that I cover on this channel, and I don't own much of it. There is definitely growing sentiment for platinum as demand for fuel cell EVs increases, per an article by Mining Weekly that was also published July 10th. The article states that growing demand for green energy in Europe will drive increased demand for platinum, which is central to the proton exchange membrane fuel cell technology of hydrogen fuel. Interesting information, truly, as I did live in Germany for 3 years with my young family. They are very much into the small, compact, high fuel mileage cars over there in Germany and Europe as a whole. The larger sedans of the United States, it's really tough operating them. Trying to find parking for our 4-door Nissan Altima in Germany was like trying to park a tank at times. It's crazy. Imagine taking your truck or your SUV over there. You'll never park it anywhere. Well, that's the update for Sunday, July 12th, 2020, and things do remain positive ahead for the metals, but do keep an eye out on the strength of the dollar. Not much is working against precious metals at this time, but a stronger dollar will put a cap on any future rallies. Thanks again, my friends, for tuning in, and we will see you soon with another unboxing. Take care, everybody.